What's up, Pokemon players? Pokemonger back with some more online gameplay, and today I got an incredibly fun one for you. Also very strong, has a lot of potential. It's my Gourgeist Zoroark deck. So mostly, pretty much everything I've seen pairs Gourgeist as the solo attacker with Octillery. I don't think that's very reliable. I wanted to go a different route with that, so I did pair it with Zoroark, which opens up a lot of options and versatility. We'll talk about it, but let's just start with Gourgeist. One prize attacker, which is always good, and very strong attack with Pumpkin Bomb. 10 base, and then does 40 more for each tool that you discard. So one shot potential, but at the very least we're going to be two-shotting everything. But yes, once you start discarding up to like 4, 5, 6 tools, you're going to be one-shotting a lot of things. So very cool. And I did go ahead and pair it with Zoroark GX. The trade ability, one of the strongest abilities in the game right now. This is going to allow us to keep our game rolling, keep setting up throughout a game. It's at least as good as Abyssal Hand in my opinion, and potentially better because it doesn't limit you to 5. Sometimes you find yourself in a big hand and you can still trade and find more cards. So very good. Also, it is a pretty solid backup attacker. Everyone knows this is a very strong attacker at this point. Riot is beating 20 times the amount of Pokemon you have in play. So Zoroark and Gourgeist can just sort of work together to keep attacks rolling, keep advantage with the board state, and just very good, very versatile deck here. We do need to discard a bunch of tools to do a lot of damage with Gourgeist, so we do have 16 tools in here. 4 bodybuilding dumbbells. This will give 40 extra hit points to our stage 1s, which both of our attackers are stage 1. 4 bursting balloons. This is going to force our opponent to take 6 damage counters if they attack into us while it's attached. 3 choice band allows us to do 30 more damage, and 4 float stones for the pre-retreat. We are going to try to discard these things with Pumpkin Bomb to reach KOs, but if we can't reach KOs, all of these are beneficial things to have in play to set up successive turns, basically. 2 Lele. This is going to help us set up our game with Bridget and just find whatever supporter we need. I guess could act as a tertiary attacker, but probably never, or probably rarely, I mean. I do realize that we have the potential to trade away tools at times. So I do put 4 puzzles in here to get back tools, primarily, or just anything that we need. First of all, we're just going to try not to trade away our tools, but if we do, I do have the 4 puzzles in here to get back tools, keep Pumpkin Bombs rolling for as long as possible. 2 stretchers get back our Pokemon that we need. This is especially important since Gourgeist has pretty low hit points. 1 special charge is going to get back our special energy. 4 special energy, DCE, that's what we need to attack with both of our attackers. We got a 3, we got 1 Bridget, you might want to up that to 2 if you're going for consistency. I'm just sort of willing to keep that at 1. 4 Ultra Ball, 3 Guzma, choose who we are killing. By the way, you can get whatever you want back with puzzles, so if you want to get like a Guzma or something to take over a very strong board advantage or win a game, that's an option. So just realize that we have 4 Ins, 3 Sycamores for draw support. I did opt for In as the main supporter over Sycamore here because we don't really want to be burning through our tools and stuff with Sycamore or puzzles. So In will just sort of help us reshuffle and conserve those things a little bit better, but we still play 3 Sycamore, which is pretty standard. And yeah, that's basically the deck. So if you guys have any questions or suggestions, leave a comment. I'll get back to you right away. Otherwise, enjoy the matches. Alright, let's get into a match here. So I start Lele, which is pretty unfortunate, but I do have Ultra Ball in hand, so as long as the other Lele is not prized, I should be just fine here. Gonna Ultra Ball Pumpkaboo and Guzma away for now, and I will Lele, which I did have the Lele, so that's good, and 1 Bridget in the deck still, or my only Bridget in the deck, I suppose. Go ahead and play Bridget. I already have Zoroark in hand, so I'll just grab one of those and then 2 Pumpkaboos. I attach DCE, and that's a risk. I could get that E hammered, but I was willing to risk it there apparently. And I go ahead and try to bait Field Blower by just attaching that one tool. My opponent is able to Bridget out everything he needs and evolve into Kirlia with Diancie. So I go ahead and Sycamore. I don't find very many. I only find one tool, which it is the tool I needed to retreat, but I've been through half my deck at this point and I've only found 2 out of my 16 tools, so that's rather unfortunate. I also didn't find an Ultra Ball or in my Zoroark, so I'm setting up pretty slow here. But I was able to take knockout on the Diancie, which is pretty good because I don't want him setting up a bunch of Gardevoirs with that. He promotes Kirlia, which tells me he's got a Gardevoir handy. Yep, and from here it's just kind of, I need to rely on my deck to play consistently. It is possible for me to take a knockout next turn, but I'll have to load up my bench and load up all my Pokemon with tools in order to OHKO this Gardevoir. He only needs 2 energy to knock me out, which he finds, so not surprising. I go ahead and promote my Pumpkaboo, and I do top deck a Zoroark. I do have Rescue Stretcher if I want to put a Pumpkaboo back into my hand. I am down 2 lands already, so I'm gonna need Rescue Stretcher to shuffle some of those Pumpkaboo lines back in. Go ahead and in. I did find the other Rescue Stretcher. I'm gonna trade a couple times here. A couple things I don't need really anymore. And let's see. I imagine I'm gonna shuffle those Gourgeist and Pumpkaboos back in with my Stretcher here. I do go ahead and attach all the tools that I had in my hand, which happens to be 4. So I'll take a hit for 170 here. I could have left that Bursting Balloon on. It would have put Gardevoir at 130, and then I would have had to load up my bench and active in order to take a knockout with Zoroark, but I decided to play it safe and just get Zoroark within range of a knockout. He finds, I think he Lele's for Skyla, if I saw that correctly, and he gets Rare Candy to evolve into Gallade, which is very good for him. He'll be able to one-hit KO my Zoroarks with that, and he's going to be able to start premonitioning with that, which is very good for him. So he's ready to take another knockout. I have no Pumpkaboo lines ready to go, so I'm going to have to rely a little bit on Zoroark for the time being. Top deck another Sycamore. I'm going to go ahead, it looks like, and risk Sycamoring potentially more things away in order to try to find that second puzzle, which I am able to find off of 2 trades, which is very good. Let's see. I go ahead and get another Stretcher because I am down on the Pumpkaboo and Gourgeist lines. Or no, it looks like I'm gonna grab a DCE, ensure that I have the Gourgeist ready to attack for next turn. That's a pretty good plan. I go ahead and grab the Stretcher as well to shuffle back in my Gourgeists lines. Attach a tool in Sycamore. Find a bunch of tools here and another Pumpkaboo. I'm gonna load up tools, it looks like, and take a knockout with the Zoroark. I also do have Bursting Balloon on the Zoroark now, so whatever attacks into me is going to have to take 60 damage, unless of course he Guzmas, which I was afraid of. He is going to take a one-hit KO with his Gallade here. Luckily his Gallade is weak to Pumpkaboo, so all I have to do here is find a Gourgeist, and I have a lot of stuff left in my deck. Yep, I have all 4 Gourgeists in the deck, so I do top deck one. I also had trade ready to try to find one. I only need 2 tools here to take a knockout, or I only have to discard 2 tools to take a knockout with Pumpkin Bomb. I do load up extra tools though before I find another Pumpkaboo, bench it. I shuffle my DCEs back in with that special charge. Let's see, do I hold on to the... Nope, looks like I keep balloon in hand. I only discard 2 because I only needed to discard 2 for Pumpkin Bomb. Leave the dumbbells attached to the active. This is going to force him to at least field blower that before he can one-hit KO it with a Gardevoir with only 2 energy. I trade. He's in a dead hand now, so he passes turn. I trade, find a couple things, and load up the rest of my hand before discarding 2 tools to knock out this Remoraid, which is fine because now he can't top deck an Ultra Ball or an Octillery to potentially buy himself out of his dead hand. Looks like he gets a top deck Gardevoir and evolves into it, or he rare candies into it, so I don't know which one he top decked. I trade, find a Guzma, and now I have to kind of choose if I want to go after one of these Lele's with my Zoroark, which I do. I attach Choice Band to it, and he does find an N. Luckily he can only N back to 2, and I go ahead and beat my opponent's Gardevoir deck there. So as you can see, I was able to consistently stream Gourgeists and at least an attacker every turn there. So very, very consistent. I had much more damage dealt than my opponent, and that was just a pretty good example of taking down top tier deck. So let's get into one more match here. Alright, this time we start Pumpkaboo, which is good. We have a pretty, fairly dead hand. We do have an in. We did top deck with Floatstone, so I attach Floatstone and go for the in. Luckily I do find a couple basics off that. But now, well, I guess we're still not really in a dead hand. We can try to trade to buy ourselves out. We will have to trade away a tool, which is fine, because we'll have 15 more plus puzzles to get it back. But it is just unfortunate. You don't really want to trade away your tools if you don't have to, but it looks like we're going to have to. My opponent starts Lele, Ultra Balls, a couple things for Bridget, and with Bridget he's going to grab Lycanroc and a couple of Buzzwoles. So he's playing Lycanroc, Buzzwole, very, very good deck. I don't think I would rely heavily on Buzzwole if it were me. I do top deck Lele. So I go ahead and play down all my tools, and I'm going to Sycamore here, probably, yep. Draw a new hand of 7. Have found another Zoroark, so now really what my goal probably is to find the DCE first of all, which I did find, before having to trade. But I probably want to find another Pumpkaboo to get down, so I'm going to get rid of Rescue Stretcher, it looks like. I don't need that right now. I could have gotten rid of the Gourgeist and kept the Rescue Stretcher, that might have been better. But he is weak to me, so I only need to discard, let's see, I discarded 3 tools to knock him out there. Oh yeah, because I didn't have Choice Band on the active, I had Floatstone on the active, so I had to discard 3 tools there to KO the Buzzwole. I probably should have attached another tool to Lele, just to have it in play in case of an in, but he does not in. He does enhanced hammer my DCE away, but it's fine because I have puzzles, so I can get back a DCE and maybe another tool with my puzzles there. He misses a max elixir after Sycamore attaches Choice Band to Buzzwole and plays down a Rangaroo, Ultra Balls, a couple things away, and grabs a Regirock. So he's gonna Rangaroo, instruct for 3 more, attaches to another Buzzwole, which is highly risky. I guess he's banking on the fact that I'm not gonna have another DCE ready right away, which I do just top deck one before having to even trade or play puzzle or anything. I'll go ahead and trade a couple things I don't need right now, and I do find the other Pumpkaboo I was looking to get ready. So start loading up some more tools here. Let's see, do I puzzle? Looks like I am just gonna hold on to my puzzle. So I discard a couple cards there. Choice Band assists me to get the KO without having to discard 3. He's weak to me, so I'm just taking incredibly easy knockouts on him right now. He can threaten a KO with Lycanroc, which he does go ahead and do. Ideally, I would have had another, or ideally I would have had a bursting balloon on instead of this choice band. Well, I guess not, because then I wouldn't have reached KO on the last Buzzwole. But anyway, you can see how versatile this deck is. A lot of options. But he does have KO ready, and I don't immediately have an answer, so this could get interesting. He does find another Lycanroc to bench. I think I would have probably been going after the Lycanroc lines with that Bridget early on, whereas he sort of went after the Buzzwoles. Oh boy. Just caught a lag spike, but he does get the KO with his GX attack. And he ends me, so now I'm using trade to buy out of a dead hand. Go ahead and find an Ultra Ball off that. Discard a couple cards I don't need for Lele. And I'm just going to Sycamore for a new hand. Let's see, do I trade first? Yeah, probably Sycamore first. Yep, now I have trade available still. I do have the Ultra Ball for a Gourgeist. It'd be nice if I could just find a Rescue Stretcher or just a Gourgeist. So, and I find a puzzle which works as well. So I can grab Gourgeist and let's see. Okay, a Bursting Balloon it looks like. So, two tools. Gonna go ahead and shuffle a couple DCEs back into my deck with Special Charge, and I imagine I'll bench that Zoroark, yep. And I go ahead and Spirit Bomb. Let's see, I could discard both tools, hit for 90 and set up Zoroark. Or I could risk it and leave the Bursting Balloon on, attempt to have him hit into it, and ultimately end up with more damage. I do just go ahead and play it a little safer, discard the Bursting Balloon in case of Field Blower or Guzma or something like that. So now he is within range of a Zoroark GX KO, as long as I can find another bench after he KOs this Gourgeist. He did need another strong energy, which he did find. So now he's able to knock me out despite resistance. I do have Ultra Ball there, so just gonna go ahead and trade a couple times. Find another Zoroark, so it looks like I might trade one more time. I'm gonna go ahead and just get rid of the Ultra Ball. Oh, I still need DCE, that's why. So I find DCE and a basic off that, even before having to play the Sycamore. So very good. Find a whole bunch of tools there. Could have taken the KO with Pumpkaboo if I had one in play. Didn't get enough Pumpkaboos in play early on, but that's just a good example of having Zoroark as a backup attacker when you can't stream Gourgeists quick enough. But both Pokemon definitely putting in a lot of work that game. Another very good display of taking down a top tier deck. And yeah, it did a ton of damage in that match as well. So I think that's it for now, everybody. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next time.